A catalyst is a catalyst, an aid is an aid. And I personally don't believe that one could use drugs in earnest as a religious tool. I think you're just doing drugs while being religious. That's it. Let's do this. Guys, thank you so much for getting us to
thank you so much for coming to this.
173 subscribers. You are the change. You are the change that we wish to see in the world. Welcome to Muzzle Tough. We don't know what we're talking about. Today, we're talking about.
Okay, let's see.
Come on, baby.
Spinning now. It's really spinning. It's really going.
What do we got? What do we got?
You can never tell what's going to happen as drugs is spiritual. Drugs as spiritual.
Drugs as spiritual aid. Interesting.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. What do you mean by that? No, let's talk about it.
All right. Do you have any stories or personal experiences or people that you know who are proponents of drugs as spiritual aids, be it marijuana, ayahuasca, cocaine, heroin, stuff like that?
I mean, every week I go to my shaman to get some black tar.
Right.
And he gives me a blessing, which is mostly just him going, ah! and then I have to run quickly out of there. But yeah, I've been feeling very, very close to Mother Earth, so I guess that works.
Okay. So, well, I don't think it works, I guess. I think drugs exist to have fun. You know what I mean? And I don't think that one could have any greater or lesser of a religious experience with or without the help of certain additives, let's say.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that God created drugs, but you don't think drugs can take you closer to God. That's your logic.
Okay. Personal story time with Mayor.
Do you want a theme song?
Yeah, dude. Do a theme song.
All right. I'm just gonna quote my shaman.
Great.
Okay, now we got it. We're done.
Personal story time. Recently, I did too much. I got like my hands on some albinos, about 6 grams of them. And what I did is I chopped them all up and I soaked them in lemon juice. Just squeezed.
What are albinos?
2 lemons, a type of mushrooms. TATs, ghosts. People call them different things.
Repeat after me.
Okay, different.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Na na na. Okay, now keep going.
All right, and I soaked them in lemon juice for about 20 minutes, and then I drank the whole chunks and all. And I became a monkey, and it lasted like 13 hours. And give me 1 second.
I'll just finish Mayor's story for him. And then what happened was he decided to convert to Islam, but they just didn't want his ass. They were like, fuck you. They didn't actually say that. They don't curse, but they were like, whatever the opposite of Bismillah is, that's what they said to him. And they said it fervently. And then after that, he went through multiple stages of being. Like, he started as a piece of shit and he turned into a turd, and then he evolved. He finally blossomed into a full-on dookie. And here he can tell you now. He can tell you he's back now, so he can tell you what's up.
But that's exactly right, actually. And at the end of the 13-hour trip, I was laying in my bed being cared for by my dog, who was a British man. And now he's a dog again. But I saw angels. Dude, I saw biblically accurate angels in a very calm, relaxed time of the trip. And he was right there in my room. A bunch of eyes, the sort of triangular obelisk type thing in my room, looking at everything. And I saw it, and he saw me, and I didn't really interact with him much. But the next day I thought about it. I said, man, what are the odds? What are the odds that I saw a real angel just now? Fucking crazy, right? I thought about it in the moment then, too. But then I realized, because of my upbringing, I have some memories or images that have been put in my head from storybooks and so on and so forth. And who's to say that I didn't once hear someone say, "Oh yeah, mushrooms good for a spiritual experience. You'll see angels." And so now I see some sort of, amalgamation of things that were told to me. It's very possible. I asked Ta about it, and Ta said, "I don't know. It's very possible. I'll never know." And that was the most open he'd ever been for a conversation like that. But I'll say it like this. I personally think if someone takes a drug and either has had religious experience in the past or is seeking a religious experience, you're going to get that religious experience at least once, right? But it's not because it's because of the drug, unfortunately. Like, I'm sorry, that's just it. It's just drugs. I'm sorry. Drugs are great. God did make drugs, but well, I mean, I'm sorry. That's it. Like, I don't know. And I've even heard Rabbanim in like Jerusalem talk about LSD, peyote, shit like this, and be like, sure, it's totally fine, permissible. It opens up your spiritual sensibilities. And I'm just like, no. I don't think the drugs is what's opening up your spiritual sensibilities. I think they're open from the beginning of the point where you're open to taking drugs for a spiritual experience. You're already capable of experiencing that thing without the drug. The drug may help you get there.
Oh.
Okay. The drug may help you get there, but you're using it as a spiritual aid. No. That's not what a spiritual aid is. A spiritual aid is like tefillin, right? A spiritual aid is something that has more regular use, like a talis or tzitzis or a yarmulke, right? Or if you're Muslim, a kufi, or if you're a Muslim woman, your burqa. You know what I mean? These
Also
things are spiritual aids. Them themselves don't spur on the yearning for that emotional experience or the spiritual experience itself. Rather, you know what I mean? They're just there as a part of your thing, right? The drug is like, I would call it, it's the spiritual catalyst. But again, anything could be a catalyst. A personal experience, a car crash could be a catalyst for an immensely spiritual experience. You know what I mean? People who have had near-death experiences completely sober will claim it was spiritual. I saw angels. I talked with Jesus. He touched me this and returned me back to do it with this. Plenty of people have stories like that. But it's not about the drug. It's not about the thing. You know what I mean? A catalyst is a catalyst. An aid is an aid. And I personally don't believe that one can use drugs in earnest as a religious tool. I think you're just doing drugs while being religious. That's it.
But don't all religious people ingest heavy doses
Oh,
of copium? Wow, skipping my entire point, Mayor. But that was a blunder. And now I am going to speak over these jets. I don't know if you can hear these absolute fantastic jets in the background.
No, I cannot hear
They're
them at all.
trying to keep me safe.
Ben, I'm
That's what
sorry.
they're trying to do.
I was
They're trying
saying
to keep me safe. No. The
saying a
viewers got the
bracha. I
point.
was saying a bracha, but go ahead.
Well,
Finish your
but
point.
Mayor, why would you be doing that? If there's no spiritual side to it, but yet you're using a spiritual blessing on it. It seems like what you're doing is making a mockery of God, and God, who is my best friend and father and mother and sister and brother, bitch and lover, child and mother, sinner and saint, and does not feel ashamed. Okay. Because of all of these, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. I do not feel ashamed. All right. So basically, what's happening is, Mayor, I believe that if and only if you were to spell the word if with two letters, it would be an I and it would be an F. But
Let me ask you
besides that,
this.
that's wait,
Let me,
I'll tell you now. I'm gonna tell you my real point. I'm gonna tell you my real
All right,
point.
go ahead.
I'm gonna
Go
tell you
ahead,
my
Ben.
real point.
Go ahead,
What
Ben.
was your
You don't
question?
have.
What
Let
was
me
your
ask you
question?
this. Let me ask you this.
No, I'm gonna tell
If
you my
you
real point. One
have
second.
you
I'm gonna tell you
ever
my real
go
point.
ahead. All right, go ahead. Have
No,
you
go ahead.
ever taken a hallucinogenic drug?
No. Have I taken
Allegedly.
a spiritual aid in the form of mushrooms and LSD? Yes.
Okay, great. Are you an atheist?
I am atheist.
No, Ben. Are you an atheist or an agnostic?
Absolutely. God is dead. Me and
Thank
Nietzsche
you.
are tight like
Okay, so
this.
there you go, Ben. You can't say that you've taken spiritual aids in the form of this and that and be an atheist. Didn't you see
Let
something?
me let me
Didn't you
let me
feel
poke a let me
something?
poke a gigantic God-sized hole in that argument right there. You ready for this, Mayor? Let me
Go
tell you about
ahead.
science, okay? Let me
Yeah,
tell you about it.
sure.
Let's say you discover a new element. You discover flusel. Okay, it's the next in the chart of elements. Can you say because you didn't know it before, and now suddenly you discovered it, that it doesn't exist because you didn't know it before?
It's so interesting. I was reading Blood Meridian last night. I
That's
started
my
reading it.
favorite rapper.
Dude, great name. Great name for a rapper. If anyone's out there and you're well read,
Great name.
dude, please do it.
Blood Meridian, dude. Fucking A.
AKA the judge. Whew.
Dude, do you hear these jets?
Put you behind bars. Yo! Someone needs to be a rapper named Blood Meridian. Now, but anyway, I was reading Blood Meridian, and there's a line in it that says something along the lines of war always existed. Okay. Before man came along, war was there waiting for man. Okay.
That's a bar. Blood
It's
Meridian with the fucking
dude, fucking bars. Yo, it's really the judge in that book really has all of the bars. Um, he's a
Judge Blood
I'll
Meridian.
say like
Even
this.
better
I
rap
read
name.
the whole thing last night in about 2 hours, and I don't think he's a real judge. I don't know. Something about him rubs me a little raw. But anyway, back to the
Well,
point of
as
what I
someone
was
who
saying.
doesn't know what you're talking about, I agree.
Ben, you've taken these things and you're still an atheist. You've never seen the angels. You've never done this and that. If basically, if they were a spiritual aid, the way that some shamans and guides out there claim them to be, right? Then everyone who takes them would have the same experience. We would be unified under a single deity because everyone takes these drugs, or at least enough people to say, hey, if 100,000 people all had the same experience, that's a big enough sample size for any scientist to say, okay, now we have to put some serious research into this and see. Maybe they used to do this. They used to do this in the 60s and the 70s. They would give people acid and see what happens. The only thing is the people on acid would say, we're all one, we got to come together, this and that. But like, that's nothing. I mean, shit,
Well,
man, you can get that feeling from dehydrating yourself enough in a sweat lodge. You
I'll
know,
tell you
you
like
do.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you like this. On what piece of parchment do you always see "In God We Trust"?
Papieren, a
Okay,
dollar
but
bill,
specifically the dollar bill.
dollar
The
bill.
dollar bill. Now, we are all one under the almighty dollar. And you know what God created when on the seventh day, it says he rested because on the sixth day he made capitalism and got other motherfuckers to do the shit for him.
Guys,
That's the Bible.
guys, I want to wrap this up. We're getting a little off track. Drugs bad, God
Yeah,
good.
I have to apologize. I did take 40 cc's of morphine straight to my eyeball before this, so
Oh
I'm a
yeah,
little
dude.
woozy. But I am seeing God incarnate, and he's a big belly boobala.
Woo!
He's chilling. He got 14 nipples, and they are all
Damn.
hot.
Hot nipples. All
Hot
right.
nipples.